Hey there, welcome back. Let's dive right into it, because I know exactly why you're here. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're completely invisible to someone who means the world to you? No matter how hard you try, whether it's being kind, giving them space, or even laying your heart on the line, they just don't seem to notice. It stings, doesn't it? That nagging feeling that they're not thinking about you the way you're thinking about them. Maybe it's an ex who walked away without a second thought, or someone you've been trying to get closer to, but they remain distant and emotionally unavailable. This situation isn't just frustrating, it feels like a punch to the gut. You start asking yourself questions like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not enough? Why can't I stay on their mind like they seem to stay on mine? And the worst part, watching them move on, seemingly unaffected, while you're left stuck replaying every moment you shared, wondering where it all went wrong. But here's the truth. You're not alone. This is a pain many of us know all too well, the sting of being overlooked, underappreciated, or worst of all, forgotten. It's soul-crushing because it makes you feel powerless, like you have no control over how others perceive you or if they value you at all. But hold up, here's the good news. You do have control. The way someone thinks about you is not some random occurrence or just about luck. It's rooted in subtle psychological dynamics. And once you tap into how these dynamics work, you can absolutely make someone obsess over you. Imagine becoming the person they can't stop thinking about, the one who lingers in their mind long after you've left the room. Now you might be wondering, isn't that kind of manipulative? Let me assure you it's not. This is not about playing games or tricking someone into caring. It's about authentically understanding human behavior and creating emotional impact. When you grasp what makes people think about someone non-stop, you can show up as your true self while leaving a lasting, unforgettable impression. Picture this. You're in a no-contact situation with someone, maybe an ex or someone you've been interested in for a while. You've been giving them space, trying to move on, but deep down, you're left wondering, do they miss me? Do they even think about me? Most importantly, is there a way to flip the script and become the one they can't stop thinking about? The answer is yes. But here's the twist. It's not about chasing after them or overcompensating. It's about subtle shifts in how you show up. And more importantly, how you don't show up. Because here's the secret. People are drawn to what they can't easily have. When you're always accessible, they take you for granted. But when you create that sense of distance, mystery, and emotional depth, you become irresistible. They won't be able to get you out of their mind. So, how do you do this? It starts with understanding the psychology behind attention and memory. Our brains are wired to focus on what's unique, unexpected, and emotionally compelling. That's why certain moments or people stay with us long after they're gone. We become obsessed with the feeling they leave behind, and that's exactly what we're going to tap into today. For example, let's talk unpredictability. When someone is predictable, your brain starts tuning them out. But when they're full of surprises, you can't help but be drawn in. It's like trying to solve a puzzle. You're hooked. But that's just the beginning. Another game changer is creating emotional depth. It's not about being overly dramatic or throwing emotions around recklessly. It's about connecting with someone on a deep, genuine level, whether it's through shared vulnerability, moments of joy, or even a bit of mystery. These connections are what make someone unforgettable. And don't underestimate the power of scarcity. People always crave what feels rare. When you're constantly available, constantly reaching out, it's easy to be taken for granted. But when you take a step back, focus on your own growth, happiness, and confidence, you create a sense of scarcity that makes your presence more valuable than ever before. These aren't just theories. They're psychological principles backed by science. And the best part? You don't have to change who you are to make them work for you. These strategies will simply amplify your natural strengths and help you become the person they can't stop thinking about. Before we jump into these powerful techniques, do me a quick favor. If you're ready to unlock the secrets of making someone think about you non-stop, hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you're joining a community of individuals who are ready to master relationships and take control of their destiny. So, are you ready to become unforgettable? Let's dive in. Number 1. The power of becoming elusive. Have you ever experienced that feeling when something or someone you can't have suddenly becomes all the more desirable? Picture this. There's someone in your life who's always there. Always texting, always posting, always showing up. But then, one day, without warning, they go quiet. At first, it might feel like a relief. Finally, some space. But as the days go by, the silence starts to weigh on you. You start asking yourself, what happened? Did I do something wrong? And before long, you realize you're thinking about them more than ever. This is the power of becoming elusive. A game-changing tactic that makes people value you more by simply disappearing for a while. Here's why this works. When you're always around, you become predictable. And people by nature start to take predictability for granted. It's human psychology. We crave novelty, surprise, and the things that are elusive. So when you intentionally create a little space, by not responding to texts right away or skipping a couple of social events, you throw off the rhythm. That's when curiosity kicks in. Your absence becomes a mystery they feel the need to solve. Think about this. Scarcity drives value. We see this principle everywhere, from rare collectibles to limited edition releases. When something is hard to get, we want it more. Your absence plays on this same idea. When you're not always available, people begin to perceive your presence as something precious, something they could lose. And that triggers an instinct to hold on tighter, to seek you out more, and to value your time even more than before. But it's not just about disappearing without a trace. Becoming elusive works best when it's paired with memorable moments. Think back to a time when someone made a lasting impression on you before fading into the background. Maybe it was a deep conversation, a surprising gesture, or a moment that left you feeling understood. These are the things you replay in your mind, and when that person is gone, those memories only grow stronger. The absence doesn't erase the connection, it intensifies it. Here's the key to doing this without coming across as manipulative. Don't ghost people. Becoming elusive is about stepping back with intention, not disappearing without explanation. It's a measured distance that sparks curiosity, not resentment. Maybe you delay your responses, skip a few social events, or pull back just enough to make them wonder where you've gone. The goal isn't to vanish completely, it's to give them space to miss you. But here's an insider tip. Don't just vanish. Leave behind a subtle reminder of your value. This could be a small act of kindness, a thoughtful message, or even a personal gesture that makes them think of you while you're away. These breadcrumbs keep your presence alive in their mind and ensure that even in your absence, they can't forget about you. Imagine this. You've just had a heart-to-heart with someone where you made them feel truly seen and valued. Then, you give them some space. What happens? They'll replay that conversation in their head, associating you with those feelings of connection and warmth. That emotional imprint is what makes your absence so powerful. It leaves them wanting more. Becoming elusive isn't just a psychological tool, it's also an opportunity for you to step back and evaluate the relationship. Are they reaching out to you, or are they indifferent? It's a natural test of their interest and investment. If they value your presence, they'll notice you're gone and make an effort to reconnect. If not, You've just gained valuable insight into where you stand with them. So how do you implement this without it feeling forced? Start small. If you're always the one reaching out, try stepping back and waiting for them to make the first move. If you're always at every social gathering, skip one and see if anyone notices. The key here is subtlety. Don't make it obvious you're pulling away. Authenticity is what gives this strategy its real power. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried using strategic absence? How did it change how people valued you? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, whether it's maybe it worked for me or curious to try. Let's get the conversation started. And stick around because in the next section, we'll uncover how to make your absence even more impactful so they can't stop thinking about you. Number 2, the art of controlled mystery. Have you ever noticed how someone who seems just a little out of reach becomes the most fascinating person in the room? This is the power of controlled mystery, a tactic that makes you utterly irresistible by revealing just enough to spark curiosity, but never quite enough to give the whole picture away. Think about it. When you let every detail of your life spill out, where's the room for intrigue? The real magic happens when you leave certain things unsaid, certain emotions unspoken, and certain moments unfinished. That's when they'll be caught in the web of your mystery, constantly wondering, what's going on with them? Why does mystery work so well? It's simple. Our brains are wired to fill in the gaps. When we don't have all the answers, we start to obsess over what's missing, trying to make sense of it. This leaves them mentally replaying everything you said, analyzing your every gesture, and even imagining scenarios where you're the lead role. The result? You're always on their mind, and they're endlessly trying to figure you out. You become an enigma they can't resist. But here's the thing. Being mysterious isn't about playing mind games or pushing people away. It's about balance. You don't need to shut down every conversation or become emotionally unavailable. The trick is to share just enough of yourself to build a connection while holding back enough to keep them guessing. Think of it like revealing just the tip of the iceberg and letting them wonder what's beneath the surface. Let's put this into real life. Imagine you're chatting with someone and they ask about your weekend plans. Instead of giving them a detailed rundown of everything you're doing, you could say something like, "I have something interesting lined up, but I'll leave that surprise for later." Now they're hooked, wondering what's coming, eager for the next interaction to uncover more. That little tease, that hint of something exciting pulls them in, and when combined with subtle gestures like a thoughtful pause before answering or a playful smile without explanation, you add layers of intrigue they can't resist unpacking. Mystery also thrives on unpredictability. People love to solve puzzles, but they only stay interested if the pieces keep changing. So don't fall into the trap of being too predictable. If someone can anticipate your every move, the thrill is gone. Instead, surprise them. Show up with a different perspective or change your usual routine. By keeping them on their toes, you remain a mystery they're always trying to decode. So, how can you start mastering the art of mystery today? It's about teasing, timing, and leaving them wanting more. When you're able to strike that perfect balance, sharing enough to engage, but withholding just enough to captivate their mind, you'll have their attention, and more importantly, their fascination. Now, tell me in the comments, I'm ready to embrace the mystery. Let's keep them guessing. Number 3, mirror their inner world. Have you ever met someone who seemed to just get you? Like they could tap into your deepest thoughts, understand your wildest dreams, and finish your sentences without missing a beat? That kind of connection isn't by accident. It's the result of mirroring their innermost desires, becoming a reflection of their truest self. When you learn to do the same, You'll create an irresistible bond that pulls them in closer and keeps them coming back for more. The secret to this powerful connection is all about paying attention, really tuning in to what excites them, what drives them, and what truly makes them feel alive. People don't always speak directly about their deepest desires, but they show them in subtle ways. A gleam in their eye when they talk about their passions, the way their voice softens when they reminisce about something meaningful. If you can pick up on these cues and reflect them back, you become the person they feel truly seen and understood by. For example, let's say you're talking to someone who thrives on adventure, someone who's always planning their next trip or talking about spontaneous activities. If you share that same love for the unknown, reflect that passion back, tell them about your own adventures or express genuine interest in their experiences. By aligning with their desire for excitement, you're forging an emotional connection that feels natural and effortless. But here's the important part. Mirroring isn't about pretending to be someone else. It's about authentically showing how your own passions and traits resonate with theirs. If adventure isn't your thing, but you sense they value emotional connection or creativity, highlight those aspects of yourself. Authenticity is the key to making this connection powerful and lasting. Emotions also play a big role in this mirroring process. When someone feels overwhelmed or uncertain, be the steady support that helps them find their calm. When they're filled with joy or excitement, celebrate right alongside them. Humans are naturally drawn to those who amplify their positive emotions and offer comfort during tough times, creating a deep, lasting bond. Here's a simple yet effective technique. Mirror their body language. If they lean in during a conversation, lean in too. If they use expressive hand gestures to convey their point, match their energy. This kind of subtle body language mirroring reinforces the feeling of being in sync with them, deepening the connection even further. And don't forget about shared values and goals. If they're passionate about making a difference in the world or pursuing a meaningful cause, reflect that passion by sharing your own aspirations. Aligning your values creates an unspoken bond that strengthens your connection on a deeper level. So, are you ready to mirror their inner world and create a connection that's irresistible? When you reflect their desires and emotions authentically, you'll become the person they can't stop thinking about. Drop a comment below. I'm ready to mirror their world. Let's dive deeper into how you can strengthen your connections and become unforgettable. Number 4. Create unfinished mysteries. Imagine you're reading a thrilling novel, and right when you're at the edge of your seat, the page ends on a cliffhanger. That burning curiosity of what happens next stays with you long after you close the book. Now, what if you could harness that same psychological effect in your interactions? By keeping the story open, you can captivate someone's mind and leave them eagerly anticipating your next move. This isn't about playing games or being evasive. It's about strategically leaving things unfinished, creating a sense of mystery that lingers. Picture this. You're telling an exciting story, and just as you're about to drop the most thrilling part, you pause and say, "You know what? I'll save that for next time." This moment of suspense is like an emotional spark that will keep them thinking about you, wondering when they'll finally hear the rest. But the magic of an unfinished story goes far beyond just telling tales. You can use this technique in every conversation, especially when discussing your goals, dreams, or personal ambitions. Rather than sharing everything at once, drop a hint, then leave them craving more. For example, when discussing your future plans, you could say, "I've got something big lined up, but I'm not ready to share yet." That small, tantalizing snippet will stick in their mind, making them wonder about the exciting unknown. Timing is crucial here. The key to leaving an open-ended narrative is knowing when to gracefully end the conversation on a high note, leaving just enough mystery to keep them hooked. It's like a song that fades out just as it reaches its peak, leaving a lingering melody in the listener's mind. Likewise, ending your interaction at the right moment ensures you stay in their thoughts long after the conversation ends. Body language also plays a big role in this. When you're parting ways after a deep conversation, don't rush to end it. Give a subtle signal that there's more to uncover, like a knowing smile or a thoughtful remark such as, "I'm definitely going to think about what you said." This leaves them with a sense of unfinished business, wondering about your true feelings or thoughts on the subject. It's important to balance curiosity with clarity, though. While creating suspense, don't leave them feeling completely confused. Make sure the connection is real and grounded, offering enough substance to establish trust before you tease with an open narrative. This balance keeps the dynamic exciting without coming off as manipulative. Leaving an open-ended narrative works best when you've already built some emotional connection. People are far more likely to linger on the what-ifs if they're emotionally invested in you. So, before dropping those enticing cliffhangers, make sure you've created meaningful moments that matter, ready to leave them hooked. The next time you're in a conversation, try adding a pause or a clever cliffhanger and watch how they can't help but replay your words in their mind. Drop a comment below. I'll keep them wondering. Let's explore how leaving things open-ended can keep you unforgettable. Number 5. Embrace the enigma picture. You meet someone who seems to carry an air of mystery. They're not loud, not overly expressive, but somehow they draw you in. You find yourself intrigued, craving to know more, but always left with just enough unanswered questions to keep your curiosity burning. This is the magic of mystery. It's the subtle art of captivating someone's attention by giving them just enough to spark their imagination while leaving them wanting more. Humans are wired for curiosity. When we don't have all the answers, we start to fill in the blanks. This is exactly why mystery has such magnetic power. It triggers our need to solve puzzles. If you can craft a sense of mystery in your interactions, you'll create an irresistible allure that keeps people thinking about you long after you've parted ways. It's not about being elusive for the sake of being distant, but about offering just enough to spark a connection while keeping them hooked. But how do you strike that perfect balance between being engaging yet elusive? It's simple. Share enough to make your conversations meaningful, but leave a few gaps for them to wonder about. Let's say you're talking about your upcoming weekend plans. Rather than giving the full picture, you could say, "I've got a few exciting things lined up. I'll tell you all about it when we catch up next time." This one small tease turns an everyday topic into a riddle that keeps them thinking. And mystery doesn't just lie in your words, it's in your actions, your body language, and even how you communicate digitally. In a text, for example, instead of over-explaining, use subtle cues like an ellipsis or an intriguing one-liner. In person, a small pause before sharing something important or leaving a conversation with a knowing smile can leave them wondering, what are they thinking? This unspoken tension builds anticipation and makes you more captivating. What about unpredictability? It's another key to mystery's allure. People are naturally drawn to things they can't predict. Don't be so predictable in your responses or behavior. Show different sides of yourself, perhaps an unexpected sense of humor or a deeper, more introspective side at times they least expect it. These surprises keep them on their toes and continuously fascinated by you. But let's talk subtlety. Mystery thrives in the quiet moments too. Think about ending a conversation with a simple, "I'm glad we had this chat," without saying anything more. That one line, while seemingly harmless, invites reflection and creates an air of significance that lingers in their mind long after you're gone. Sometimes it's what's not said that speaks the loudest. Of course, mystery isn't about playing mind games. It shouldn't feel calculated or manipulative. If done too much or without authenticity, it can backfire, leaving people feeling disconnected or confused. True mystery comes from self-assurance. When you are confident and comfortable in your own skin, you don't need to explain yourself constantly. Your calm presence and the space you leave for others to wonder becomes magnetic and full of allure. So, are you ready to step into the art of mystery? Want to keep them guessing and come across as irresistibly intriguing? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. I'm ready to embrace the enigma. Let's spark curiosity and keep the mystery alive. Number 6. Crafting moments that stick. The power of emotional anchors. Let's talk about those unforgettable moments, those experiences that stay with you long after they've passed. Think about a time when someone made you feel truly seen, heard, or understood. Those moments have a unique power to anchor you in someone's heart and mind, leaving you unforgettable. These emotional anchors are more than just memories. They become part of someone's emotional story, something they return to whenever they think of you. So why do emotional anchors have such lasting power? It's because we, as humans, are deeply emotional beings. We don't just remember events. We remember how those events made us feel. Whether it's a moment of deep joy, sadness, or excitement, it's the emotions tied to an experience that make it stand out. Now, imagine you could create moments like these for someone else. You wouldn't just be a fleeting thought in their mind, you'd be a permanent part of their emotional landscape. Building these anchors doesn't require grand, over-the-top gestures. In fact, it's often the small, unexpected moments that carry the most weight. It could be something as simple as sharing a heartfelt compliment or making them laugh when they're feeling down. These little sparks of connection have a way of lodging themselves in someone's heart, like a song you can't stop humming. They become moments they revisit, sometimes without even realizing why. Another brilliant way to create emotional anchors is by aligning yourself with what matters to them. Maybe they love hiking, or they're passionate about a particular cause. Share an experience that resonates with them, even if it's something you're not normally into. It's not about doing it just to impress them, but about showing them that you truly see and understand their passions. When you share an experience tied to what they love, it leaves a deep emotional imprint, one that connects you directly to what they care about most. But here's the secret, folks. Timing is everything. Emotional anchors hit hardest when they're tied to moments of transition or emotional highs and lows. If they're going through a tough time, being the person who shows up with a listening ear or a word of encouragement will make you unforgettable. It's not just about what you do, but when and how you do it. Those spontaneous moments of support and care, when the person least expects it, become memories they cherish forever. You can also create anchors with small rituals that foster connection over time. Think of a quiet walk you take every week, or sharing a cup of coffee each morning. These rituals create a sense of consistency and comfort, embedding your presence in their life. It's not about doing something monumental every time. It's about creating those repeated moments that become part of their routine, making you a familiar, comforting presence. And don't forget the power of remembering the little details. People love to feel seen, and when you remember something meaningful they've shared with you, it builds connection. For example, recalling a story they told you months ago or bringing up something they mentioned in passing shows you truly care about them on a deeper level. It shows that they matter enough for you to keep their words and experiences alive in your own mind. This thoughtful attention strengthens the emotional anchor. But let's be clear, emotional anchors are not about manipulation or using someone's feelings to your advantage. They're about being genuine, intentional, and authentic in your interactions. When you create these memorable moments naturally, it fosters a connection that feels real and sincere. If this idea resonates with you, I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let me know what kind of moments you want to create that'll leave a lasting impact. And if you want to learn more life-changing tips like this, don't forget to hit subscribe and join me in exploring how to leave your mark on the world. The power to create unforgettable connections is in your hands. Ready to dive in? Let's go. Number 7. Become the anchor in their storm. The power of non-reaction. Picture this. You're in the middle of a whirlwind of emotions. People are arguing, tempers are flaring, and yet there you are, standing completely still and composed. Your presence exudes calm, and you're not rattled by the chaos around you. Mastering non-reaction is one of the most powerful tools in any situation. It allows you to remain grounded while others spiral. This quiet strength doesn't just keep you in control, it also creates a magnetic, unforgettable aura around you. When the world expects you to lose your cool and you don't, it sparks curiosity. You're no longer the predictable person they thought you were. Instead, they're left wondering how you can stay so calm, so unflappable. This is where non-reaction works its magic. It flips the script and keeps you in the driver's seat. Want to master it? Start by giving yourself that moment of pause before reacting. Whether it's a tense conversation or a passive-aggressive comment, take a deep breath and choose your response wisely. It's not about suppressing your emotions, but channeling them in a way that maintains your composure and clarity. Responding with calm doesn't mean you're apathetic. Quite the opposite. It's a sign of emotional strength. When someone vents their frustration at you, instead of clapping back, listen carefully, validate their feelings, and respond with empathy. You'll diffuse the tension while maintaining your poise. This is powerful, folks, because when you remain steady, they'll find themselves reflecting on your grace under pressure. It makes you seem like a person who has it all together, and people are drawn to that kind of confidence. Non-reaction doesn't mean being passive or letting people walk all over you. It's about showing strength through your stillness. If someone tries to provoke you, whether with criticism or negativity, simply respond with a calm acknowledgement and watch as they realize their attempts have no effect. They'll quickly understand that their words no longer hold power over you, and that shift in dynamic is incredibly empowering. You control the situation, not them. And non-reaction isn't just reserved for confrontations. It's a mindset that can handle anything life throws at you. If someone cancels plans last minute or a surprise challenge arises, respond without frustration. Adapt with grace and ease, showing that nothing can disrupt your calm. This sends a clear message. You're not easily shaken, and that makes you stand out. The true beauty of mastering non-reaction is that it impacts both you and those around you. It's a demonstration of emotional intelligence, showing that you're the calm in the chaos. When you practice non-reaction, you free yourself from being swept up in others' emotional turmoil. You become like the eye of a storm, steady, serene, and completely unshaken. So, are you ready to become the calm that people seek in a world full of noise? Drop a comment below with "I'm unshaken" if you're ready to master the art of non-reaction. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you can continue building your inner strength with more powerful strategies like this. Let's create an unforgettable presence together. Number 8. Master the art of suggestion. Plant ideas. Like a seed, folks, imagine being able to plant an idea in someone's mind so subtly that they don't even realize it's been placed there. But it blooms into something powerful nonetheless. This is the magic of suggestion. It's not about being forceful or manipulative. It's about guiding someone's thoughts and decisions in a way that feels completely natural. The beauty of suggestion lies in its stealthy nature. Rather than directly telling someone what to think or do, you gently nudge them toward it, allowing them to arrive at the conclusion all on their own. How do you achieve this? It's all about how you phrase things, frame your actions, and position your words. For example, instead of telling someone, "I love traveling," why not share an exciting tale about a spontaneous trip you took? Or mention your dream of crossing off items from your bucket list, casually weaving it into the conversation. By sharing without outright stating your desire, you spark curiosity and let them start filling in the blanks themselves. It's a sneaky yet effective way to influence how they perceive you without making it obvious. Questions are another powerful tool in your arsenal. A well-placed question can work like a gentle nudge, guiding someone's thoughts to explore new possibilities. For instance, try asking, "What do you think would happen if you stepped completely out of your comfort zone for a day?" Not only does it provoke thought, but it plants the seed of exploration, pushing them to see the exciting opportunities around them. But suggestion isn't just about words. It's about how you communicate non-verbally too. Your body language, tone, and even the timing of your pauses can suggest something without ever uttering it aloud. A slight smirk, a well-timed eyebrow raise, or a pause before an important statement can create curiosity and subtly guide the listener's thoughts in a specific direction. Timing is essential when planting ideas. You need to wait for that perfect moment when the person is open and receptive. For instance, if they're expressing frustration about being stuck in a rut, that's your moment to introduce a suggestion for change. The idea feels like it's arriving at the right time, almost as if it's the natural next step for them, making it far more enticing and easy to embrace. To master the art of suggestion, it's crucial to become a keen observer. Pay attention to what excites the person, what worries them, and what their dreams are. When your suggestion aligns with their interests and desires, it doesn't feel like you're persuading them at all. It feels like you're simply guiding them along a path they were already meant to walk. The beauty of suggestion is that it creates a sense of partnership. When someone feels like the idea came from them, they're far more likely to act on it. It doesn't feel like a push. It feels like a gentle pull, empowering them to make decisions they feel are entirely their own. Ready to master this technique and subtly influence the world around you? If so, drop a comment below with "I plant wisely," and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep learning the secrets of impactful communication and connection. Number 9. Use the power of loss to stay on their mind, folks. What if I told you that one of the most effective ways to make a lasting impression isn't just about showing up, it's about knowing when to step back? There's a powerful psychological principle that taps into the fear of loss, and it's a game changer when it comes to building unforgettable connections. You see, humans are wired to fear losing what they value. It's why we cherish things that seem scarce or temporary. If you know how to harness this principle in your relationships, you can create a sense of value so deep that the thought of losing you will keep you on their mind long after you've parted ways. So why does the fear of loss work so well? When we sense that something might slip away, we naturally place a higher value on it. Think of how much more we appreciate something once it's no longer within reach. In relationships, if you're always present, always available, it can be easy for your presence to become expected, even taken for granted. But when you subtly introduce the possibility of losing that connection, it forces them to pause and reflect on what you bring to the table. Here's how you use this principle wisely. First, establish your unique value. Show them why they should want you in their life. Whether it's your infectious energy, your wisdom, your kindness, or your ability to make them laugh, Let them experience the power of your presence. Make them feel the joy and warmth of being around you so that the thought of losing that becomes something they actively dread. Next, create space. And I don't mean playing games or disappearing for days on end. It's all about strategic distance. Allow for moments of absence to spark curiosity. When you step back, even just slightly, it forces them to appreciate the moments they've had with you. This isn't about being cold. It's about letting them realize what they stand to lose, creating an emotional gap that makes your return feel all the more powerful. One of the strongest ways to emphasize the fear of loss is by setting boundaries. Let them know your time and attention are precious. When you're always there on demand, people can start to take you for granted. But when you prioritize your needs and show that you won't be at everyone's beck and call, it sends a powerful message. If you want to keep me around, you'll have to meet me halfway. This subtle shift in dynamic makes your presence feel more exclusive, and they'll quickly realize how important you are to their world. And folks, let's not forget about the importance of reminding them of what they gain from having you in their life. Paint a picture of the joy, laughter, growth, and support you bring to the table. When they understand the immense value of your connection, the idea of losing it becomes almost unthinkable. It's a powerful motivator that plants the seed of appreciation in their heart. But here's the key. Do all of this with authenticity. The goal isn't to stir up unnecessary drama or create tension, but to gently remind them of how important you are. People can sense when something feels forced, and that's when it backfires. Keep it real, keep it genuine. The fear of loss is most potent when it arises naturally, often during times of reflection or after a meaningful exchange. Maybe after a heated moment or a special event, you step back just a little. It's these moments that leave them thinking, I can't lose this. So folks, use the power of loss wisely. Cultivate a connection so strong that the idea of losing it becomes unbearable. And if this resonates with you, drop a comment below with I value connections. Don't forget to subscribe for more strategies on how to keep your relationships meaningful, unforgettable, and unbreakable.